Good morning, dear friends. I'm Dr. Arun B Nair, consultant psychiatrist. COVID is spreading like a wildfire all over the world. Even in our country, India, the situation is not different. As of now, India has got more than 30,000 cases of COVID with more than 1,000 deaths. The situation is pretty bad even in the West, United States of America, UK, other European nations, everywhere it is spreading. So it seems that the virus is here to stay for some more time. It may be very difficult to eradicate the virus just like that. We may have to survive in this world along with this virus, or we may have to exist in this world along with the virus. We have to coexist with this virus. So, what all precautions should we keep in our mind and follow in our life to coexist with the virus, at the same time not allowing the virus to infect us, to harm us in any way? So I'd like to discuss 8 specific points which we have to keep in our mind when we are living with the virus, with the coronavirus in this world. Point number 1, personal hygiene, especially washing of the hands. As we know, virus is a very small particle which doesn't have a clear-cut structure, unlike bacteria or other microorganisms. So, if we wash our hands regularly with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, as a result of a process called saponification, the virus is totally destroyed. So, whenever we go out, before we enter into our house, let us make it a habit to wash our hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. Even when we are going to the office, before getting into the office, let's wash our hands with soap and water before entering. After any kind of human interaction, better to wash our hands. Those of us who are handling equipments like cash, who are sitting in the cash counters, who are handling other utensils, other materials which are being used for business, it is possible that all these objects can have viral presence in them. So after handling all of these, let us wash our hands by soap and water for 20 seconds. In case soap is not available, any sanitizer with alcohol content which is sufficient may also be enough to clean our hands. So that is point number 1. Point number 2 is, let us wear mask wherever we go. Every time we go out of the house, let us ensure that we wear a mask. Ideally, a 3-layered mask would suffice. But if you're a medical professional, when you're in the hospital, you may be needed to wear an N95 mask also. So many people were asking me this question: what is the purpose of wearing this mask? The 3-layered mask doesn't give you absolute protection from the virus. It's true, because the 3-layered mask can be sometimes insufficient to protect you from the virus. But the message is that if each and every human being who goes out on the road is wearing a 3-layered mask, if by any reason he has got a COVID infection, that is less likely to spread to another person. So if each and every one of us pledge to wear mask wherever we go out, the chance for spread of virus comes down significantly. That is the reason why I say we all should wear mask very definitely. Now coming to the third one. The third thing which we have to keep in our mind is, we should keep our oral cavity, our nasal cavity and gastrointestinal tract very clear and clean. What does that mean? Virus enter into the body either through the oral cavity or the nasal cavity. Then they remain in the gastrointestinal tract for a couple of days. And then they get to various areas, get attached to certain cells in the lungs, and then they start their damage. So if we keep our nose, mouth and the gastrointestinal tract very clean, the virus is unlikely to enter. What should we do practically for that? For the oral cleanliness, number 1, you have to brush your teeth immediately on waking up in the morning and just before going to bed also. It would be good if we can gargle with saline in the morning when we get up and in the evening before we go to bed also. Whenever we take any sweet objects, any sugary objects, immediately if you can gargle with saline, it would be worthwhile. And again, it is good to clean your nostrils also with warm saline or hydrogen peroxide, which is diluted with water in 1:5 ratio. 1 part of hydrogen peroxide to 5 parts of water. That is used, and that diluted version is used to clean the nostrils. The nostrils can also be kept perfectly clean. Regarding the stomach, to keep the stomach clean, what we should do is we should ensure the presence of sufficient lactobacillus. And for that, we can take probiotics which contain lactobacillus or natural things like curd or yogurt. Curd and yogurt has got sufficient positive bacteria or healthy bacteria which can help prevent the entry of viruses into the gastrointestinal tract. So this can also be done. Apart from this, avoid the use of oily food and spicy food as much as possible, because that can lead to growth of the virus in the gastrointestinal tract. Again, if you are a diabetic person, avoid taking too much sugars, because sugar is a very important culture medium for all microorganisms, including virus. So if you take too much of sugars, sugary content, sweet things, the virus is destined to grow in your gastrointestinal tract. So avoid taking sugars as much as possible. So these are the things to take care of your stomach. Now coming to the fourth point, hydration. Adequate intake of fluids. That is extremely important. If you keep yourself hydrated, the circulation improves, and as a result, your immunity will be better. If you take enough water, 15 to 20 glasses of water per day, warm water as much as possible, your throat will remain hydrated, so the entry of the virus can be prevented to some extent. Your skin will remain moist and supple, so micro tears in the skin can be avoided, because we may scratch our skin if we feel an itching. If the skin is not moist, it is possible that during the episode of scratching, we may get micro tears, and through the micro tears, there is possibility of entry of microorganisms. So if we take enough water, the skin will be very supple and moist, and we can avoid micro tears. We can avoid entry of these microorganisms into the body. So that is regarding hydration. The next point is intake of vitamins. Several studies worldwide have proved that at least 3 vitamins and minerals are of significance in preventing COVID infection. Vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. These are the 3. Vitamin C is very much present in citrus fruits like lemon and orange. So if we can take lemon juice in warm water, or orange can be consumed once in a while, it would be great. And if there is difficulty in procuring citrus fruits, of course, vitamin C medications are available. They can also be consumed as per the direction of a doctor. Next is vitamin D. Vitamin D is very vital in improving the immunity. Naturally, if you are exposed to sunlight, the body, the skin will synthesize vitamin D. It is a cholesterol derivative, we should say. When the ultraviolet B rays come into contact with the cholesterol derivatives in the skin, they are converted to cholecalciferol or vitamin D. The role of vitamin D in immunity is, in our lungs, we have got angiotensin converting enzyme receptors, or ACE receptors. The COVID virus or the coronavirus binds with the ACE receptors, enters into the lung, creates pneumonia, and creates major problems. So vitamin D has got a property of binding with the ACE receptors. So if your vitamin D levels in the body is sufficient, the ACE receptors are already blocked, so that if the virus enters into the body, the ACE receptors are not free for the virus to bind. So it is very important to keep the vitamin D levels normal. So natural sources, exposure to sunlight at least 1 hour per day. If by any reason you are unable to expose yourself to sunlight, then you can take vitamin D medications. Vitamin D medications are available as granules. It is available as liquids, it is available as tablets. So for an adult person, 60,000 international units of vitamin D once in a week for 8 weeks may be sufficient. So that can be done. The third mineral or vitamin is zinc. Zinc is also very important in preventing the entry of the COVID virus into the lung tissue. So you can discuss with your doctor and take any multivitamin preparations which contain sufficient amount of zinc. So vitamin C, D, and zinc, very important in improving your immunity and thus preventing the attack of COVID virus. Then again, the next one is exercise. It is very important to do three kinds of exercise. What is the definition of exercise? Exercise is any activity in which your heart rate is at least 60% of your maximum heart rate. So maximum heart rate means 220 minus your age. If you're a 40-year-old man, 220 minus 40 is 180. 180 beats per minute is a maximum number of beats your heart can beat in a minute. If you do any activity in which your heartbeat is 60% of that maximum heart rate, that is called as moderate exercise. So for a 40-year-old man, 180 is the maximum heart rate. 60% of 180 is 108 per minute. So any activity in which your heart is beating at 108 per minute is moderate exercise. So 150 minutes of moderate exercise every week, spread over at least 5 days. So 30 minutes of moderate exercise per day would suffice. If it is with exposure to sunlight, it would be great because it can help in the synthesis of vitamin D also. So to ensure this 30 minutes of moderate exercise, what should you do? You can do brisk walking. But first 5 minutes, slow walking. Next 30 minutes, brisk walking in which your heart rate is at least 60% of the maximum heart rate. Then finally, last 5 minutes, again slow walking, the cool off phase. So 5 minutes warm up, 30 minutes of exercise, 5 minutes of cool off. 40 minutes brisk walking per day may be sufficient as an exercise. And this will also improve the circulation of your body. It also stimulate the bone marrow. The bone marrow will produce more of blood cells, which will act as the defense against virus or any kind of infections. The second type of exercise is anything which builds the muscles, weight training, stretching, push-ups, anything which will build your muscles, because especially in people who are having diabetes, building muscles is very important, because if muscles are built, that would help in the utilization of glucose and it would be a very important source of energy. Otherwise, if excess glucose is accumulated in the body, as I have mentioned earlier, glucose would be a good culture medium for the virus to grow and survive and thrive and attack and devastate your system. So, weight training or anything which builds your muscles could be good. The third type of exercise can be breathing exercises, something which improves your lung capacity. So deep breathing exercises, deep inhalation through the nasopharynx, hold your breath for at least 5 seconds and very slowly exhale. You can repeat this exercise 20 times thrice daily, maybe enough. This will help to improve your lung capacity and your diaphragmatic function. So that is regarding exercise, which is very important. And finally, the eighth point to improve your immunity is there are certain naturally available things like turmeric, like ginger, garlic. All these things are very good antioxidants. So turmeric has got a little bit of curcumin, which is a wonderful antioxidant. It is a wonderful antiviral, antibacterial also. So a small suggestion is every night before going to bed, 1 glass of warm water, half a lemon can be used. Squeeze this half lemon. Along with that, 1 pinch of turmeric and 2 drops of honey. Don't use sugar, don't use salt. So warm water, half a piece of lemon, 1 pinch of turmeric, 2 drops of honey. Mix it, drink it before you go to bed. In the morning when you get up also, if you can once more use it, it would be great. Because this combination is excellent because it is warm water. Warm water will be very helpful in preventing the entry of virus, because if you are hydrating your throat with the warm water. Of course, vitamin C is present in lemon. So that is an ingredient of this combination. And we have got turmeric with curcumin, which is again a wonderful antioxidant. So take this at night before going to bed and in the morning after brushing your teeth. That may be excellent. So, dear friends, if you follow these 8 simple tips, hand washing, wearing a mask, maintaining your oral, nasal and gastric hygiene, maintaining sufficient hydration, ensuring sufficient vitamin intake, exercises, both brisk walking and muscle building, and of course, certain relaxation methods like deep breathing also, and use of ginger, turmeric, and garlic. And one more point, the final thing is that stress is very much related to immunity. If you are not stressed, your immunity is likely to be high. There is a branch of medicine called psychoneuroimmunology. So it is important to remain happy. To remain happy, you can listen to music, read books, connect with your friends and relatives through online platforms. Think about certain good things you have done in life. Think about your achievements in life and try to remain positive as much as possible. Be thankful for the life you have. Every morning you wake up, be thankful that you are alive, you are healthy, and you are happy. Thank you.